Welcome back, friends, to the Matt Townsend Show. Ambition. You know, sometimes we look down on it, right? It's just too aggressive. But then there's so many of us, myself included, I would love to be able to be more ambitious and to be able to push myself, to dare to say the things that you ought to say and to push yourself, you know, up the ladder in the corporate world. Joining us on the phone is Esther Spina, who's also known as the Ambitious Woman, and she's authored a book titled The Ambitious Woman, currently heads a mentoring club specifically geared toward helping women to set and achieve their goals in their lives. She's a successful businesswoman and the master of her art. She joins us now to help us understand her vision and and what we can be doing as average people to just be even more driven, more ambitious. Esther Spina, welcome to the Matt Townsend Show.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's so great. You know what? I love this idea of ambition, because I think a lot of people have it, but we don't sometimes, it seems like, have the gumption or the nerve to go do what you've got to do to make your dreams come true. And it seems like, just from the little I know about you, you've got the gumption. You've got the ability to go grab your goals and to make them happen. How do we get this ambition to actually happen? How do we get it out there to the world?
Well, that's a good question, because really people aren't born ambitious. It's something that you acquire. So I think the first thing you have to learn is, what does it take to be ambitious? If I'm not ambitious, why am I not? And you really need to have the ambitious traits in order to be successful. You're not successful first and then you become ambitious.
Right.
So when you think of it in that context, I mean, it's absolutely necessary, if you want to reach your goals and your dreams, is to understand what being ambitious is and to become ambitious, which, by the way, is not a bad word. It's a great word. I think that over the years, people look at it and think that ambitious is somebody that's power hungry or has an ego, especially women. They look at them that way too, and that's just so much farther from the truth.
Yeah, and it seems like you're trying to blow that myth up. That, I mean, ambition can be a positive thing and can drive it. Do you sense that an ambitious woman is perceived differently than an ambitious man?
Yes, absolutely. Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's changing a little bit with some of our political candidates.
Right.
But the thing of it is that when you look at the word ambitious and you actually see it in the dictionary, this is what it means. It's someone that has or shows a strong desire and determination to succeed, eagerly desirous of achieving success, wealth, power. That's what being ambitious, that's a great thing. So it seems like if you want to be successful, you need to be ambitious. And I think it's changing. Sure, when men are out there and they're in the corporate world and they're getting to the top and they're strong and make decisions, they're looked at and say, wow, he's a really ambitious man. That's awesome. But then you get a woman sometimes that has those same traits, and they go, oh my God, she's bossy, she's power hungry, she thinks she's all that, too aggressive. That's what I'm trying to change in my examples of the ambitious woman.
Well, I think that's important. I mean, it's I guess a lot of it, what it is where they show such a strong desire to succeed and have wealth and power. I mean, maybe that's what people think is, I don't know, less virtuous, I guess. But in reality, you're going to gain power by being an effective, healthy person that people want to follow. So, I mean, it's going to happen one way or another.
Yeah, power isn't a bad either.
Right.
Wealth is not a bad thing either when you look at it. But here's the misconceptions, and this is what I talk about in my book. In order to be ambitious or considered ambitious, we know what the word means, but how do you get to be ambitious? Back to your initial question, is I've outlined, and this is through 30 years of experience, because, Matt, by no means was I born ambitious. I wasn't born in an ambitious family. fact, very blue collar. No one in my family went to college. No one owned a business. No one was entrepreneur. So I couldn't have been born that way. But I acquired it through starting when I was 18 years old at my first corporate job as a woman, and had a set a sight to have a man's job, which took me 4.5 years to get it. And I think that's when I first started becoming ambitious about doing it. And some of the things that I've learned over the last 30 years, in order to be ambitious, you've got to live an inspired life, an encouraging life, action life, a dream life, determined life, empowered life, motivated life. And, you know, I talk about 16 traits like this: self-discipline, a loyal life. Here's one that you might not, most people don't consider a trait of an ambitious person, but it's one of my top, and that is live a humble life. And I think that is one of the biggest traits of a true ambitious person. They are truly humble, and they never forget where they came from.
Yeah, talk about that more. What do you mean by humble?
Humble is somebody that never forgets where they came from, and that they've never arrived. No matter how successful, no matter how wealthy, they are always remember where their success came from, and they treat it that way. They never lord it over people. They never are condescending to other people. They truly are humble and give their praise to the people that deserve it, because no one single person can rise to the top by themselves.
Right.
It always takes a team. It always takes people around them to be successful and get to the top. And I think being humble and realizing that is absolutely a trait that you have to have a true ambitious person.
Well, I think that's the idea, because when you're ambitious and humble, that seems like the perfect combination, right?
Absolutely. It really is. And so when you look at someone that can have both of those traits, you're just going to go, wow, that is an ambitious, powerful person. Otherwise, without that humility, you might think, oh my gosh, that is just a person that has an ego. Yeah.
And so give me an example, because one of the things, I know another one of your chapters in your book is living a persistent life.
Right.
And what I heard a story that you one time, when you were just a new employee, you walked right up to the CEO of the company, the big company, and you met the CEO.
Right. Oh, gosh, did I have a lot? That's pretty ambitious, isn't it?
That's very ambitious, but persistent. I mean, there's a lot of people that would never dare do that. What was that? What drove you to that?
Well, when I saw this opportunity, I wanted it really bad. I mean, I knew that this was something that I could be successful at, and I wanted that financial freedom. I wanted this opportunity. And I learned one of the things that you need to do if you're going to be successful is you have to be accountable. If you're not accountable to someone, or you don't tell someone what your dreams are or what you intend to do, you're going to lose some power.
Yeah.
Because just keeping it to yourself, why do you think most people don't tell anyone? Because if they fail, then, no one knows.
No one needs to know.
You know, and it's all your little secret.
Right.
The first time that you tell someone, usually it could be a spouse, but sometimes that's not the best one. It could be a best friend. But once you say, you know what, I want this. This is my dream. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do this until I'm successful. You all of a sudden have put yourself out there. So I was just sitting there. It was the second day of a presentation. I had caught him from the corner of my eye, and I just thought, wow, I really want this. Time is getting away from me. I've worked my whole life to get to the top, and I'm just going to go up there and introduce myself to him and tell him, and this is exactly what I said. He tells the story over and over again, because I don't think he's ever had anyone do that. And I said, you don't know me, but I'm going to be somebody in this company someday. And I know he looked at me and went, okay,
move along, security.
Right. But then I sat down, Matt, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I just blew it.
Well, you know what I said? You know what drove me to keep that word is because I had actually went to the top of the CEO of the company and said that. And every day when I felt like quitting, Well, there was adversity. I would say, oh my gosh, I'm accountable. I told him I was going to be somebody someday in this company, and doggone it, I'm going to do it.
Oh, I love that.
If I had not told him, who knows, I may have given up.
Oh, yeah. Well, and if anything, you found the way to make it so you almost had this cue that you either now are the crazy woman that was losing her mind, or you're the one that in a few years could move right up the ladder and get to the top.
Right, and that's exactly what happened through a lot of ups and downs and trials. And nothing's easy, believe me. I started at the bottom of the company and did get to the top. And that was just because of being an ambitious woman, and that's pretty much where that came from.
Oh, I love it. No, I love it. We're speaking with Esther Spina, who is from Fort Worth, Texas, where she lives with her husband, her 4 children, 4 grandchildren, and she's the author.
6 now.
Is it 6 now?
I have 6.
Congratulations. I'm about to be a grandfather, so it's a big deal.
Love it.
I can hardly wait. Except I feel like I'm getting older. But I guess that's great, as long as I'm still mobile. Esther's on the phone with us, teaching us about her book called The Ambitious Woman. She's teaching us about the importance of persistence, of accountability, of humility as drivers of ambition, really trying to reframe it for us, and also teaching us that this isn't just a male trait. Women have every bit the power, the ability. In fact, I would even say, having been raised by a single mom, even maybe sometimes more power to exercise their ambition, especially when we learn the traits that Esther's teaching us. Stick with us. We'll come back, learn more of the great lessons of life and ambition from Esther Spina. This is the Matt Townsend Show. We'll be right back. To the Matt Townsend Show. Today we're talking ambition, and we're learning the art of ambition, I guess. We'd call it an art form of some sort, by Esther Spina, the author of the book The Ambitious Woman. She currently heads a mentoring club specifically geared toward helping women to set and achieve effective goals in their lives. Esther Spina is from Fort Worth, Texas. She lives there with her husband, 4 children, 6 grandchildren, and is teaching us powerful principles. One of the powerful principles she's already taught us is a key to ambition is humility, being teachable along with accountability. And we're going to continue learning from Esther. Esther, welcome back to the Matt Townsend Show.
Thanks. You know, Matt, you right before the break, you said something which is perfect, which I said before. We're trying to reframe ambition and being ambitious, because ambition is the driver, and you said that word as well, that can motivate you in a positive or a negative way. The traits that we're talking about help you become ambitious and successful.
Yeah.
And you said it perfectly, just how I would have said it, that we've got to reframe this ambitious word.
Yeah. Well, and I think you're doing a great job of it, because we see it as just kind of a power-hungry, money-hungry, ends justify the means kind of a mentality, when really what you're adding to it are different things that, like different, I guess, even lives. Like you talk about, part of ambition is a humble life, but it's also a determined life, which is with somebody that's determined, like you were when you went up to the CEO and told him someday I'm going to be something big in this. But another thing I love is you're also realistic to know that ambition also is action.
Absolutely. Words are nothing unless you put action to them. You have to have massive action. I think that's a key thing that people miss. They hear a motivating speech. They go to a seminar. They go to a convention, and they're all hyped up. They heard everything. They've got it. And they can do that till they're blue in the face, but until they put massive action with everything that they have learned, nothing is going to change.
Yeah.
Nothing will happen.
I mean, because to have ambition and just keep talking about it, you're just spinning your wheels.
Right, exactly.
And there's a lot of people that would rather, it seems like, have the story to justify their inaction than really the results of action.
Right. This is something that I lived by. I learned this in sales 101 a long time ago, and it just works in this business and everything that I've done. And I find that successful people do what unsuccessful people will not do. Period.
Yeah.
And you know what? When there's something that you don't want to do, just do it, because that means you're going to be successful. Because the bottom line is, unsuccessful people won't do what successful people will do. Mm-hmm. And that's what it takes. You've just got to do everything. And so those things that are hard to do, that the rejection that you take, everything, all the adversity that you come across in becoming successful and ambitious, all has to do with doing things that you don't want to do.
Yeah. Well, I even see that just even personally, professionally, there's certain things I don't like to do, and I don't, so I avoid them. They're things that are kind of counter to my nature.
Right.
So how do I get over that? What are some of the keys or the tools you found to get myself to go do what is hard for me to do?
Well, it's going to go back a little bit to what I'm really big on: self-development and working on yourself.
Yeah.
And that is something that you have to develop a habit with. I think people go days and months, maybe years, without reading a positive, motivational self-development book.
Right.
And there's so many out there. And so one of the things that I would say, if you're having a problem getting over the hump, is find a book that has been referred to. Ambitious Woman book is a great one to start. There's many of them. The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People by Stephen Covey. All kinds of books. John Maxwell, great leadership leader, has tons of books out there. And spend 30 minutes a day. That's my rule of thumb, is that you've got to spend 15 to 30 minutes a day on yourself.
Developing, growing, learning.
Developing and growing. And I tell you, if someone just starts with 15 minutes a day and they do that every single day, your life will change in just a matter of time, because you're putting in yourself, things in yourself to help your spirit and your well-being, to help put those things into action. Because without them, I don't know how you can. I don't know how just someone gets up every single day and it's just all, I'm so ambitious. You're not.
Yeah.
That's not life. You have to work at that. I try to not do anything until I do a couple things. I have a rule of 5 that I try to do every day. I try to read every day. I try to pray every day. I write every day. I encourage every day. And I share every day. And that's my rule of 5, that I try to, if I just can accomplish those things in just a few minutes every single day, that I feel like I'm on the right track of where I should be.
Yeah. No, that seems healthy. And you also set goals. I know a big part of your life is goal setting, and one of the things you try to teach in your women's ambition and empowerment groups is goal setting. Talk to us a little bit about goal setting. How can we make our goal setting more effective?
Well, you have to be proactive. And I would suggest, if anyone can pick up that book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah.
Because he's got the 7 habits in there. And I hadn't read this book. I think I developed the habits on my own through life experience. And when I picked that book up, I was like, oh my gosh, that's why I'm successful.
Yeah.
Because I had developed, to a certain extent, a lot of these habits. And you've got to be proactive. And how are you proactive? It's setting your goals. Without a vision, the people perish. And you have got to have another habit. Begin with the end in mind. That is a habit 101. Begin with the end in mind. What does that mean? Well, that means that you already know what your end result is going to be. See, when I went up to the CEO, what did I want? I wanted to be somebody in that company. That was my end result.
Right.
Did it happen overnight? No, it was a process. So I had to begin with those baby steps. See, people want to do what I do, Matt.
Yeah.
They don't want to do what I do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, I see that all the time.
And they're like, oh, I want to be like her. Listen, but they don't want to do what I did to get where I went.
Right.
And that is, I had to set goals. To this day, I have a daily yellow pad that I have all my goals down for the day. And I know goal setting is beaten to death in every kind of seminar, every kind of talk, but it's so important. It's like the number one thing. If you don't know what your end result is supposed to be and set your goals to do it, how are you ever going to get there?
You're not. Do you see, like, I have people come up to me and they're like, oh, I really want to do what you do. What could I do? Because I want to speak, or I want to be on the radio, and I want to do that. And I'm like, oh, you know what? They're really simple. Let me give you like 3 books to read. Go start reading these books, then come see me. And if you want, I'll let you follow me for a day, and you can just really see what I do, and you'll find out it's not all that great. Or you can then, if you want, I'll let you, come intern for me. You can see what we're doing, get behind the scenes, and learn and grow and learn and grow. And then as soon as you can do it, I'll start paying you to do it.
Yeah.
And they look at me like, this Friday? Yeah, I can't do it this Friday. I mean, you know what, let me get back to you. And all of a sudden you're like, wow. So the way I know who's serious is I give them a challenge.
Yeah, they'll do what you do.
Yeah. But
do you know the sad thing is, Matt? Most people don't.
No.
I mean, they don't. That's why there is still the 2%er of the people in the country. And it's sad. We need to change that. People just need to realize that if they want it, there's certain things they have to do. Because I found that to get where I am, there are 2 things. It takes time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes experience. So are you willing to wait the time? Because it's a process. And are you willing to go through all the experiences to get there? I do that same thing. People go, well, how do you get to where you're going? I'm like, okay, why don't you join the Ambitious Women if it's a Women's Success Club? Because you need a mentor. You need to be accountable. I'm just like that. That's one way. And surprisingly, people do not want to be accountable or have a mentor.
Right.
They don't want to spend the time or the money. I can't help those people. Then could you reach a certain amount of success? Yes. But do you really want the most success that you can have in your whole life? Do you really want everything that there is out there for you? Then you have got to do certain things. And we can outline them. And I've actually told them in that book what you would need to do. And these traits aren't going to happen overnight. I don't like people to get overwhelmed and go, oh my God, I got to have these 16 traits and then I'll be ambitious and successful. No. Yeah. You learn them. These came to me over 30 years. These are absolutes that you must have to be the most successful that you can be, and it will take time and process, and you can tackle them one at a time. I usually tell people, take the book and just take one chapter and read it for a week and really learn and understand what that is. Don't read the whole book all at once and then be overwhelmed. Oh my God, I can't do it.
Yeah, this is too much. What can I do? I know the majority of your focus, it seems like, is taking women and empowering them and helping them understand the power of ambition and all of the other traits that are in the book. What can I do as a husband if I want to kind of change the concept of an ambitious woman and help my wife be more ambitious? And not even be more. She's already ambitious, but help her facilitate it. What could we just as men do to help get out of the way of ambition for women and also empower it, enable it, strengthen it?
Great question. I've been married a long time, and my husband, when the books came to the house, he went to college. He's studied his whole life. I've never seen him read a book through all the way through. Mm-hmm. He picked up my book, and I promise you, he did not put it down. Several hours later, he walks into my office and says, oh my gosh, he goes, it's really good. I finally feel like I know you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I've been married a long time. I said, everybody write a book. You want your husband to understand you? I mean, just read it. And here's the point, because yes, my passion is women, because I love powerful women. I think that they don't always live up to their greatness that God's given them, and I want to help them achieve that. So, but being ambitious is for men and women alike.
Yeah.
You know, women who are already ambitious, they'll get reinforced by the book. Women that have dreams, need a vision, they'll be encouraged. But I always say men need to understand their women. And so they've got to read things and do things so they can understand their women. And I just, my husband's a great example, and I've had many men read it, not just for themselves, but it'll help them understand their ambitious women professionally and personally. So I would say, read some of the stuff that women get into.
Yeah.
Figure out about women and encourage them to be the right, ambitious woman. And that takes a little bit of work, too. And don't be jealous about it, because that's something sometimes men will do, is they're afraid or intimidated by an ambitious woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I love when men love ambitious women.
I do too. Well, and strong women make strong men, and strong men make strong women.
Right. I love it. I think there's nothing wimpy about my husband that comes in and is in the background and doesn't really want to be up in the limelight, but supports me and is there. I think that is so, sexy. That is one of the greatest things. It's not wimpy. And I just think men need to understand they're great, strong women.
Yeah. And again, all God's children are to be strong, empowered, like you say. And in the book, there's just so many other tools in the book: passionate, consistent, persistent, loyal. Every one of these are universal truths of healthy lives, right?
Yeah, loyal's a great one, too. Sometimes you think about being ambitious, and it's like, get out of my way, get to the top. People think, what does ambitious mean? Power hungry, doing whatever it takes to get to the top. But boy, loyalty is big. People too often jump from one place to another, one church to another, one company to another, one marriage to another.
Yeah.
And if they would learn what true loyalty is and what it means to be loyal, and you make that commitment one time. See, being loyal, you don't have to say, I'll be loyal to you this week and maybe next week I'll decide. No, you decide to be loyal to a cause, to a person, to something one time, and there's never a question about it. When you do that, that will help you through thick and thin, through adversities, through things that you might not even agree with, but that doesn't mean that you become disloyal when you disagree about something.
Oh, yeah. Well, we appreciate it. I think this is great information, great advice. Esther Spina, again, the author of the book, The Ambitious Woman. And you can find out more if you just look up the name Esther Spina. She's all over the place. But you can also go to the website, www.ambitiouswoman.net, to get more information. A grandmother of 6, married, mom, business success, principle-centered, ambitious. Powerful, folks. Really, when we raise the women in our world, folks, we raise the world. And when it doesn't harm a man or anyone to have strong, healthy women. It only strengthens the world, folks. So remember that. We're on this globe together, right? We got to make it work together. Take a break. This is the Matt Townsend Show. We'll be right back.